Hello and welcome to Silent Resolve. I am Bobbly, and I'm going to explain to you what some of the rules are within our guild. Silent Resolve is a friendly guild that values both its raiding time as well as the sanity of its members. We have been raiding with a consistent core crew for almost 2 years now, and have been able to be successful by keeping this guild and its event a fun place to be for all involved. In order to ensure that the culture of the guild is preserved, we observe the following rules. Rule number 1. We are a team and we raid as a team. Each member is an essential part of the equation and is expected to actively contribute to the guild's progression in every way possible. This means that you treat your fellow guild members with the respect they are due and expect the same in return. We are only as strong as our weakest link, and it is each individual's responsibility to be pushing the envelope of their class's skill and abilities to ensure that they stay on the top of their game. Rule number 2. While issues with other raiders do arise, when at all possible, the situation should be resolved through private tells and/or private meditation. In a private channel event, the raid is never the place to let emotion get the best of you, regardless of the circumstances. Less QQ, more pew pew. Rule number 3. The team is strengthened by working together. Instances in raid content not in active progression should at all times be prioritized to running with guildies first and pugging last. Try to organize a guild run before you pug an outside run. Do stuff with your fellow guild members. It's nice. Rule number 4. We have masters in all professions here to help you, and constantly have alt tunes looking to level professions. So if you need craftables, look to the guild for support. If you are a craftsman helping a guildie, it is expected that you cut them a deal for keeping it in the house. We help each other and profit only from outsiders. Help your fellow guild members when you can. Rule number 5. Ventrilo is a common ground where most of us socialize. Guild chat is something used when actively expressing yourself to everyone, and there is a difference. Use some respect within all ways of communication. If someone is trying to say something important on vent and you'd like to add something, don't overkey them on vent. Type it in raid or guild chat, or please whisper. Keep it neat and clean. Rule number 6. Every day make sure to check any guild announcements. This includes paying attention to the events within the guild calendar. Any information we give you, I promise is useful and will always provide accurate status on what's going on. It's your responsibility to know what's going on and be prepared. Do it! If you are early, you are on time. If you're showing up at raid time, you are late. And if you're late, you're automatically on standby. Be prepared to raid. Each member is expected to have the following. Well-fed's appropriate for your class. Regents appropriate for your class for buffing the raid. Enough gold to pay for raiding each night. Having up-to-date add-ons that are required, such as Deadly Boss mods. Flask and potions appropriate for your class and spec. Remember, no flask, no DKP, no loot. Make sure you know the fights. Information is readily available at wowwiki.com and tankspot.com. Everyone is expected to know the fights well enough to explain them to others. This is often tested. Keep vent clear. Unless you have a reason to be talking in vent, keep your comments in the raid chat. The only person who has any reason to talk is the raid leader, the tanks, or the healers when discussing assignments for the fight. Progression requires learning, which involves wiping. If you are not okay with this, this is not the guild for you. We are not carrying people through progression content at this time and do not want to carry you. If you need to take a break for any reason, let the raid leader know in advance. We can accommodate your needs, but need to know where you are. Quick breaks can always be taken during looting on bosses, and longer breaks will be scheduled. If you go AFK in raid, depending on the circumstances, you run the risk of being ejected from the raid, losing DKP, or being removed from the guild. Do not go AFK. After a wipe, unless told otherwise, release, run back, get well fed, make sure you have an active flask, and start buffing the raid. Do not wait for a message to start buffing. You know what people need and will know what buff you are responsible for. Get on it as soon as possible so we can keep going as quickly as possible. The raid leader should never have to ask for buffs. Each person buffing should know their job and do it. Hunters always need might. Your performance is always monitored. If you feel like you're not doing well enough or we tell you you need to improve, it's your responsibility to seek assistance. Don't expect us to tell you how to do your job. Ask us for advice or find it yourself. Failure to do so may compromise your raid spot. We use DKP to distribute loot. You obtain DKP from on-time attendance, defeating a boss, every hour you're still raiding. To know your current DKP, whisper !DKP to Alibear. When an auction for loot begins, anyone interested will need to whisper the amount of their bid to the raid leader. This is called silent auctions, and is used to prevent anyone from knowing someone else's bid. Highest bidder wins the item and spends the allocated DKP, while the rest of the bids are discarded. All auctions taken will be main spec before off specs before alts, and then disenchanted into the guild bank. It's not free bid to anyone who wants to use. Mains get it first. If no one wants it for off spec, then it goes to alts. Any item up for auction that is tradable will need to immediately be used by the winner. Do not sell anything that you bid on. We will find out and it's an automatic G-kick. If you don't want it for yourself, don't bid. Simple. Thank you for choosing Silent Resolve, and I hope to see you soon.